The most expensive tax you pay isn't financial, it's the wisdom tax. The years spent learning lessons that could have been acquired in minutes. You see, most people spend decades discovering what a few realize much sooner: that life follows predictable patterns that, once recognized, transform everything. The difference between where you are and where you could be isn't just knowledge, it's the right knowledge applied at the right time. Think about it. How many times have you finally understood something and thought, I wish I'd known this years ago? We've all been there. That moment when a single insight makes years of struggle suddenly unnecessary. It's like we're all playing the same game, but some people got the instruction manual, while the rest of us are learning through painful trial and error. Here's what's fascinating though. These insights aren't secret. They're hiding in plain sight, obscured only by our assumptions about how things work. In the next few minutes, I'll share the mental models that took me decades to discover, but could have saved me years of unnecessary struggle. Let's start with perhaps the most fundamental realization. Your mental models determine what's possible for you. Your mental models are the invisible operating system running your life. They determine what opportunities you can perceive, what solutions seem viable, and what outcomes feel possible. Yet most of us never examine them. We are like fish unaware of the water we swim in. Ever noticed how two people can look at the exact same situation and see completely different possibilities? That's not personality. That's mental models at work. Let me give you a concrete example. Most people operate with a scarcity model around time. There's never enough. But what if time abundance is actually possible through intention, not efficiency? Instead of trying to cram more into each day, what if you fundamentally reimagined your relationship with time? We're funny creatures. We'll spend years mastering Excel, but won't spend 20 minutes understanding our own thinking patterns. Here's the reality check. Your mental models are either a bridge to possibilities or a barrier to progress. And upgrading them is the highest leverage activity available to you. But there's a catch. Seeing your own mental models is like trying to see the back of your head without a mirror. You need reflection tools. One powerful tool is inversion, thinking backward from the outcome you want. Another is seeking evidence against your beliefs rather than confirmation of them. These mental model upgrades alone can rewire how you approach every challenge. But they require something most people resist: deliberate discomfort. Chapter 2: The Attention Economy. Let's talk about the most valuable currency you possess: your attention. In a world designed to fracture and monetize it, the ability to direct your focus is a superpower. Yet most of us never learn attention management. We're taught time management instead. It's like being handed a leaky bucket and being told to carry more water instead of fixing the holes. Here's what took me too long to realize. Attention management matters infinitely more than time management. Think about it this way. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else, but what you do with your focused attention within those hours determines everything. Most people's attention is fragged across dozens of inputs, outputs, and distractions. But what if you practiced radical selectivity? This brings us to a counterintuitive insight: the power of selective ignorance. We live in the first era of history where the problem isn't accessing information, it's filtering it. Yet we still behave as if more information automatically leads to better decisions. It's like drinking from a fire hose when what you need is a cup of water. The wisdom that transforms lives isn't about knowing more things. It's about knowing the right things and applying them consistently. We're so busy consuming information that we never create the space for integration and implementation. It's the difference between collecting ingredients and actually cooking the meal. Here's the paradigm shift. What if you treated your attention with the same care as your most valuable financial investment? Chapter 3, Decision-Making Deconstructed. Your life is essentially the sum of your decisions, yet nobody ever taught you decision-making in school. We learn calculus, but not how to choose a career. We study historical dates, but not how to evaluate life options. It's truly bizarre when you think about it. Let me share 3 decision-making upgrades that changed everything for me. First, the 72-hour rule. For any important decision, give yourself 3 days. This creates a space between impulse and action where wisdom lives. Second, second-order thinking. Most people only consider immediate effects, but truly successful decision-makers ask, and then what? And what might result from that? Third, and most powerful, inversion. Instead of asking, how do I get what I want? Ask, what's preventing me from getting what I want? This simple flip resolves problems that forward thinking can't touch. For example, don't ask, how do I become successful? Ask, what's causing me to fail? The answers reveal your actual obstacles rather than theoretical paths. Funny how we'll question a $20 purchase for hours, but won't question beliefs held for decades. Isn't it bizarre? Here's the insight that ties it all together. Most problems aren't solved through brilliant solutions. They're solved through better problem definition. If you're solving the wrong problem, it doesn't matter how good your solution is. But implementing better decisions requires something most people miss entirely. Chapter 4, The Implementation Gap. There's a chasm between knowing and doing that most people never cross. It's called the implementation gap. We live in an age of unprecedented access to information, yet transformation remains elusive. Why? Because we've been culturally programmed to overvalue knowledge and undervalue implementation. Think about it. We celebrate the person who reads 100 books a year more than the one who implements 1 book fully. Most advice is like downloading software to a computer without the right system. The information is correct, but the implementation environment isn't compatible. Here's the breakthrough insight. Tiny, consistent actions trump sporadic, heroic efforts. The compound effect applies to everything, not just money. Your habits, relationships, knowledge, they all compound for better or worse. When you truly understand this, you realize small daily actions are the entire game. That's why a person who meditates 10 minutes daily will transform more than someone at retreats yearly. But here's where most people get stuck. They try to implement change through willpower alone. This is like trying to drive a car by pushing it forward manually. Technically possible, but wildly inefficient. What if there was a better way? Chapter 6, Environment Design versus Willpower. Environment design trumps willpower every single time. This isn't motivational, it's mathematical. Think about it. Willpower is finite and fluctuating, but your environment is consistent and present. When you understand this shift, you stop trying to be more disciplined and start creating environments where discipline isn't required. We're always shocked when our willpower fails, as if human limitations weren't predictable. It's like being surprised that gravity still works. Successful people you admire aren't more disciplined. They've created systems that make success easy. This leads us to another counterintuitive insight. Focus on systems instead of goals. Goals are about the destination. Systems are about the journey. Goals provide direction. Systems create results. When you understand this distinction, you realize something profound. The goal isn't the point. The system is. For instance, don't focus on losing 20 pounds. Focus on creating a system of health. Healthy eating and regular movement as default, not the exception. When you get the system right, the goals take care of themselves. But systems don't exist in isolation. They operate within the context of relationships. Chapter 7, Relationship Dynamics Decoded. Most relationship problems stem from one reality: unstated expectations. We expect others to follow rules they never agreed to. Think about it. How many times have you been upset with someone for violating an expectation never communicated? I spent years frustrated before realizing this truth. Most arguments aren't about facts, but about unstated emotional needs. When someone is upset about dishes, they're rarely upset about dishes. The dishes are proxies for deeper needs: respect, contribution, appreciation. Once you see this pattern, you see it everywhere. The content of arguments isn't the cause is hidden underneath. Another powerful insight: people remember how you made them feel, not what you said. We craft words carefully, but emotional impact is what matters. This isn't fluffy wisdom, it's practical reality. Relationships follow another deep pattern. They're shaped more by who you become than by what you do. The most transformative insight is this: your peer group determines your thinking. You've heard you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. But it goes deeper than that. Your peers don't just influence thought, they determine which thoughts are even possible. We chase networking up, but forget genuine connection matters most. It's funny how we trust Yelp reviews more than our intuition about people. Chapter 7: The Success Paradox. Most people pursue success in ways virtually guaranteed to prevent it. This is called the success paradox. We chase certainty in uncertain worlds. We follow prescribed paths in an era that rewards unique approaches. Let me share 3 success insights that changed my trajectory completely. First, the cost of perfectionism isn't failure, it's missed opportunities. While you polish version 1.0 endlessly, someone else gets feedback on version 0.5. Second, success comes from reverse engineering, not from following prescriptions. Study what worked for others. Extract principles, adapt them to your context. Third, the benefits of strategic quitting. The most successful aren't just starters. They're excellent at stopping what doesn't fit. Persistence isn't virtue by itself. It's only valuable in the right direction. We praise entrepreneurs who succeed on 10th try, but never ask if success came sooner had they changed direction earlier. This shows we've played life on hard mode because we never read the instructions. Chapter 8: Identity-Based Transformation. Most change efforts fail because they target the wrong level. They target behaviors instead of identity. Think about it. When someone identifies as a runner, they don't need willpower to run. It's simply who they are. Identity-based habits create lasting change. Goal-based habits usually fail. That's why saying, "I'm a runner," outperforms "I need to run more." Instead of saying, "I want to write a book," say, "I am a writer." Notice the difference between having and being. One is about having, the other about being. We all know someone trying to quit smoking, but the one who says, "I'm not a smoker," succeeds more often. Awkwardly, most of our choices are just social scripts we follow. The deepest identity shift comes when you realize you're not your thoughts. You're the awareness observing your thoughts. When this lands, you stop being victim of mental patterns. You become their architect instead. Chapter 9: Wisdom Integration. Everything we've discussed fits together into one whole. Your mental models determine opportunities you perceive. Your attention shapes which inputs matter. Your decisions define the paths you take. Your implementation turns knowledge into transformation. Your systems decide if change stays permanent. Your relationships set the context around you. Your approach to success sets your trajectory. And your identity makes it authentic, sustainable. When you see these elements interact, you develop something remarkable: wisdom. Not just knowledge, but embodied understanding that changes your life. The wisdom tax is real. Most spend decades discovering patterns, but you don't have to. Notes can help you remember, but implementation makes information wisdom. Here's what I wish I knew 30 years ago. The goal isn't more knowledge, it's to need less. Understanding yourself is the foundation. When you know your mind, everything else becomes clearer. My challenge: don't just consume content. Pick one insight and implement it now. Wisdom without action is trivia. Ask yourself, What am I ready to implement? 30 years from now, what would you wish you knew today? Start there. The wisdom is already within you. And hey, if you like this video, hit subscribe and press that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I've started a Patreon to support these videos. Check the link in the description to join. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.